Today we're going to talk about New World's player population and what impact the summer event is having on that number. And if the number has gone up, let's talk about why. So unless you've not been following New World's population at all, you'll likely know that obviously we had a massive number of people play this game when it launched, and slowly but surely the number has been trickling down. And honestly, most patches that have been released for the game haven't changed that fact. In reality, there has only been 1 month where the player numbers have actually gone slightly up, and that was in April. And that's probably a little bit misleading. I think in April we got the Heart of Madness and we did get a new weapon, the Blunderbuss, but we also had the double XP weekend, and very importantly, we also had a free weekend of the game on Steam. That basically meant that anybody could play it. And even with all of that, the player numbers increased by about 3.5%. Every other month has been a steady decline, as I mentioned. However, right now, this month, we are seeing the player numbers increase a little, so players are coming back to New World. Now, whilst August obviously isn't finished, I think there's a good chance that August will end up higher than April, for example, and it'll be our first proper month of an increase. It appears that our peak times before this patch were approximately around 17,000, whereas now they're actually quite close to 25,000. Now, I don't think New World will sustain at like a peak players of 25k for the rest of August, but I do think it'll still maintain a relatively healthy player base that's higher than before, and I'll tell you why in a moment. However, why did people come back to New World right now? Well, when we have a look at the update, the group finder and the new expedition are not currently in the game, so we can rule them out as being a factor. I do think that removing the expedition orbs has definitely been a positive, and that may have brought some players back, but I just don't think it'll be that significant. But to me, actually, it's likely the fact that this patch has brought back players because there's actually stuff for casuals to do now. Sure, there's a few good changes, like I mentioned, the expedition orb being removed is a good change, but I actually think it's the Summer Fair itself, as well as the new music profession, because they really just add to what casuals can do when they log on. And obviously, if you're a hardcore player, you can do it as well. You're not excluded from the content in any way. But what I mean is that the Summer Fair basically brings a reputation grind and a token system. And yes, it is seasonal, so it's going to go away. And whilst it'll likely come back next year, it sort of feels like a now or never kind of thing, because you don't want to wait a year. That just doesn't seem like reasonably fun at all. And when we look at the rewards, most of the rewards are actually just fun, non-consequential rewards. Yes, there are some good armor patterns and stuff like that, and I think maybe even a fishing trophy, but really the rest of it is just like cosmetic items. There's emotes, there's skins, there's housing decorations. Nothing that's really going to completely change your game. It's really just fun stuff. And the way that you sort of level this and get the tokens, well, you fish and you play music. That sounds quite relaxing and enjoyable. It isn't like hardcore elite gameplay or anything like that. But you know what's actually really important is that it gives players a reason to log on, because you've got something to do. You can log on and try and get these rewards. And I know that I personally want such an emote, like the headbanging one or whatever it is. And I also want that skin that I can't think of the name of, the one that looks weird and shiny. I quite like the look of them, so I'm going to try and get them. It gives me a reason to just log on, even though I'm not like doing any hardcore gameplay. And then maybe I'll do an outpost rush, or maybe I'll do an expedition or something like that, because why not? I personally have said before, I think this is the kind of thing we need to see on a bigger scale. For example, I thought with the idea of having like each outpost or territory basically be its own reputation grind. It already is sort of like a reputation grind, but what I would like is different rewards. Rather than like a little discount from your tax, why not have like cosmetic items specifically related to that town, and maybe actually have armor that's sort of like related to that town as well, some flags, some emotes, whatever, just fun stuff. And it would basically be the same concept but all year round. And when we get a new zone, that'd be really cool, because you could be like, oh, I need to grind this rep and get this up as well. It'd just be fun, I think, and give you something to do without it being like player power. And obviously, let's not forget the music profession. It's Rock Band / Guitar Hero. It's fun to mess about with, and if you're really into that kind of game mode in the past, then you're gonna like it in New World. And it adds a possible future collectible with the music songs, which, by the way, I think it would have been really cool if they would have added like a music sheet at the end of the reputation grind for the Summer Fair. I don't know, I just feel like that would have been cool. I'll get over it if it's not there. My point is though that it's just casual content. It gives you a reason to play. If you're a casual player who's not like war logging, it gives you a reason to log in. If you have decent 625 gear that you're really not that bothered about changing, there's not really been much reason to log in, apart from obviously if you wanted to do an outpost rush or you wanted to do an expedition. But a lot of players like to feel like they're progressing at least at some sort, and we've not really had that, and this patch sort of gives you that. And I do think that we will actually sort of sustain this slight increase in popularity for a little bit, and that's because at the end of next month the game will have been out for pretty much a year. There will be a massive patch, I'm sure, and I expect some significant changes beyond just having a new zone and a new weapon. I suspect we're going to see some sort of like conceptual changes with the game that they've been working on for the the year with the feedback they've had since launch. So yeah, numbers are up, not by an insane amount, but it's significant because it appears that this will be the first like legitimate way that the game has had an increase in numbers. Obviously, we will keep an eye out on this in the future, and we'll make future videos and we'll have a closer look and that kind of thing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if you think it is because of the reasons that I outlined, or is it something else that I missed? If you want to support the channel, do consider becoming a YouTube member. Like and subscribe. Have a most beautiful day. Goodbye.